Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, we're glad to have all of you with us as well. Joining us live today from Dublin, we have a very special guest. We have Michael Collins on with us. He's worked on a fascinating new book that I really enjoyed being able to go through and now to be able to share with all of you. It's provided by the Smithsonian. It's called Journey, An Illustrated History of Travel. And as you all know, I have to do quite a bit of traveling for work myself. One of the things, though, that Michael is able to do in compiling this book is to not only take us through the history of travel, but also allow us to see how things have evolved, the things that have become a part of our travel, but also individuals that maybe you have not heard about as well. If you're just not hearing about the book, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can get your own copy of it. But, Michael, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. It's lovely to be with you.
Well, look, one of the great quotes that I had never heard before that I love now is found on page 297 of the book, Michael. It's Roy Chapman Andrews, and he says, "Always there has been an adventure just around the corner, and the world is still full of corners." And I think that really sums up a lot of what this book shows us. What has it been like for you, Michael, to not only see the response to the book Journey, but also to be able to take this journey along with us through the history of travel?
Well, indeed, that's very interesting. Let me tell you how I had the idea for the book in the first place. I was leaving Dublin for a few days about 3 years ago. I was going to Seville for 4 days by plane, and I was packing my overnight case, which was going to have to do for 4 nights, and I was trying to put everything in, you know, the kitchen sink, a lamp, all the various things that you think you're going to need just for 4 days. I mean, how do you do that? And I'd learned all the tricks about rolling clothes instead of folding them, etc., etc., etc. And when I went over to Seville, I was on my own. I was looking at what a wonderful city in southern Spain, magnificent architecture and food, everything was wonderful. And then I was just thinking about our ancestors in the past. You know, 70,000 years ago, everybody lived in caves. And then somebody invented a tent, I suppose, which was made from animal skins. And people fished in lakes and used rivers maybe for sailing from one place to the other. And then with the invention of the sail, people were able to make rafts into boats. And then they were obviously able to go a bit further. And once they really developed the whole concept of the boat and the sail, they were able to cross oceans. Equally with the wheel, when the Phoenicians invented the wheel, that also changed travel, and people were able to maybe go on chariots, and then they were able to, eventually that led us to the bicycle and eventually to the car and what have you. So I suppose when I was just thinking of all the people who traveled over the hundreds of years, it's both for necessity, for trade, and for leisure. And what I wanted to do was to give a chronological visual journey for the armchair traveller, maybe people who haven't gone to different parts of the world. I have to say, most of the parts of the world, and I've done a lot of travelling as well myself, but most of the parts of the world I haven't actually visited. And with some co-authors, I had some co-writers help me with the book, we put together a visual journey which will go not only around the planet by boat, by car, by train, by plane, etc., but also beyond, because people now are moving away from the Earth. We're no longer just satisfied to live on the Earth for a variety of reasons. And in fact, one of the reasons, I think, is because of the future of humanity. We're not sure that we're going to have the resources sufficient to keep humanity on this planet for the future. And now we're going into outer space, and we're exploring new galaxies. And the further we explore, the further we realize that we've got to journey and to travel. So what I've really enjoyed doing is go through, as you say, and providing beautiful illustrations for the journeys. I'm just looking at one of the pages here, and I see the Sphinx of Egypt, and a stone just above that illustration is the Rosetta Stone, which was found in 1799 during an expedition of Napoleon, and it was through the discovery of that we were able to decipher the hieroglyphics of ancient Egyptian obelisks and the tombs, etc. So if that stone had not been discovered through travel, we'd still be looking at hieroglyphics and be completely ignorant of what they mean and stand for.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned the pictures as well, because I think that is really going to be, especially for younger audiences, Michael, going to be a great thing for them. On page 211 of the book, there's a great quote again by Francis Frith there, the photographer, that says, "There is no effectual substitute for actual travel, but it is my ambition to provide for those to whom circumstances forbid that luxury." And, even though I travel within the country, I have not traveled outside the United States before. Is it also part of your hope that with the photography, with the photos, that you're able to take people, as you even said, the places they've never been, and maybe make them curious about, hey, what would it be like to explore those places myself?
Absolutely. Actually, I have to tell you, Cyrus, just about 20 minutes ago, I came to visit my mother, and I'm phoning from my mother's house. And she hadn't seen the book because it's only just published a few days ago. In fact, I only got my copy about 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. So I showed it to her. My mother's elderly, and she has now not had her lunch. She's been sitting looking at the book, and I said, "Mom, I have to take the book because I'm doing some radio interviews." And she said, "Oh, this is fascinating, but look at that. There's the American aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart." And she was lost in the book. And now my mother isn't terribly interested in anything I write, but I had to wrestle the book from her to say, "Look, I've got to go and do some work." So I think, to be honest with you, I didn't have anything to do with the choosing of these wonderful pictures, which were largely supplied through the Smithsonian, which of course I've been to several times and I absolutely adore. But the pictures are absolutely stunning, and I know that this book is going to be such a phenomenal success. And I don't say that because I had anything to do with it. It was only a small idea that I started off with the publishers. But the pictures, as you can see, Cyrus, they're absolutely stunning. The colour, the range, they run over thousands of years. As I say, literally from the time we lived in the cave until the jet age, and the rocket age, maybe I should say, or even the internet age. That's all travel. The whole thing is to bring us on a whole exploration.
I totally agree. Michael, the last thing I want to mention, and then we're going to remind our audience how they can get the book, is the history. There's a lot of history that's shared in this book. Why was that so important for you to do, not only of the places, but also of the people that were there?
Well, I guess it's really those people made the place. They were the ones. The Earth has been around for a long time. It's been billions of years here. But we as humans are the only ones on the planet who have actually explored the surface. Now, maybe the ants of the world or some other little insects are fascinated equally, but we're the only ones who've built temples and cathedrals and buildings of, magnificent architecture and traveled from one place to the other. We're the only form of life who's done that, and we've put into service, as I said, mules, camels, dromedaries, whatever. We invented the wheel, the sail. We've done a lot, and that's why I wanted to bring readers back right into almost prehistory, and then to bring us all the way back, and then to start the journey in a time that's completely unknown, and bring us page by page, so that every page that the reader turns, they're going to say, "Wow, look at that! Isn't that magnificent? Where is it?" And then you look at the caption and see where it is, and I bet your bottom dollar that the next thing you'll say is, "I wish I could go there."
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I think people will be saying,
hope.
Yeah, I think people will be saying that a lot, Michael, for sure. Again, Michael Collins has been our guest for this section, joining us live today from Dublin, discussing the new book. Of course, as he said, thanks to the Smithsonian. It's called Journey, an illustrated history of travel. The book's available now through our friends at Amazon.com. Definitely go over there and order it for yourself. Of course, you can also go to your favorite bookstore, no matter where it may be. If they don't have it, they'll be more than happy to order it for you. Michael, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Well, my email is very simple. It's fathermichaelcollins.com. It's my name, fathermichaelcollins.com. Or I have another email, which is michelangelo100 at hotmail.com. But can I just say one thing? Go to your bookstore, because I'm a great supporter of the bookstores more than online buying. That's just a personal thing. I think support your bookstores, because otherwise they won't stay there.
I understand. Great point, Michael. Michael, again, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
A great pleasure. I'd love to, Cyrus. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Michael, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site, so head over to facebook.com/CyrusWebb or go over to twitter.com/CyrusWebb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share it with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.